Hey guys, it's me, Steve WB, and welcome back to my channel. And today we have another faster than it probably should be review. That's right, today we're going to be talking about the Hohem ISteady Pro 3 action camera gimbal. And I know some people are wondering, well, don't action cameras have stabilization? Yes, they do. But why do I need a gimbal? Well, we're going to get into all that. Plus, I'm also going to show you why this is the perfect gimbal for your DJI Osmo Action, which is still a very competitive camera in 2022. Let's do it. Okay, so this is the ISteady Pro 3 action camera gimbal. And as I said, I'm going to explain to you why you need a gimbal for an action camera. And the number one, in my opinion, the number one reason is low light shooting. If you know anything about GoPro, DJI, any of these action cameras, when the light gets a little dark, the hyper smooth, the rock steady, whatever it is, goes to crap. It just starts getting jittery and real shaky. And here you go, your solution. You can turn all the hyper smooth off, which brings me to the second reason why you would want a gimbal. Without using their hyper smooth, then that's less drain on your battery, less processing work, less overheating concerns. That's another very good point. Also, look at this. GoPro's got the Volta. Well, guess what? Hohem has got the Volta stabilized. You can plug this directly into your action camera and keep it charged. And you can use the Wi-Fi module to connect to your GoPro so you can start and stop recording. I have not tried to hook it up to my DJI, but it's just simple enough for me just to hit the record button. What is really good about the DJI on this gimbal is HDR mode. It gets no better than HDR mode on the DJI Osmo Action. And if you know anything about the DJI Osmo Action, HDR mode is not stabilized. But man, oh man, can you get some amazing footage with HDR mode. And we're gonna actually use the gimbal and the DJI Osmo Action and collect some footage for you so you can see what you can do with this budget camera and this budget gimbal. And make sure you stick around because I have a very, very special offer coming for you to help you get your hands on the Hohem ISteady Pro 3. Let's cut to the reel. Okay, so now we're going to go over some of the quick features of the ISteady. You have a little thumb switch right here that controls your tilt. You have your record and power button. You have a mode button, and then you have a thumb switch here for pan and tilt and rotation of the gimbal. You double press the trigger and it will bring it back to center, just like so. And you can see that it does charge your camera while you're using it. You also get this nice handy dandy tripod. And on the side here, you do have a USB for charging your phone or whatever, and you have the charge port, which is a USB micro, and you have a 1/4-20 screw on the side where you can put a cold shoe for mounting something else to the gimbal as well, like an external microphone. Now I'm going to show you my favorite thing about this particular gimbal and Hohem gimbals all together. and that is the fact that if you take a DJI gimbal and you do this to it and you spin it all around and you stop, it's not going to come back to level. Hohem gimbals are really good if you jostle them, switch them around, that they're going to come back to level. And if you're by chance shooting and you need the sports mode, that's where the trigger comes in. You just hold down the trigger and you can whip this thing around and it's going to lock it for you. Now I'm going to show you real quick all your different modes. This is the first mode. It's called pan follow. You can see the tilt is locked, but it follows the pan as the name suggests. The next one is pan and tilt follow, meaning you can pan it and tilt it as such. The next mode is lock. That's where all axes are locked. The camera is locked in pan and tilt. And then you have POV, point of view, which is also like the same as FPV, and the camera is going to follow you any direction that you go, even upside down. So that's all your modes. Let's talk about the app a little bit. So on the iSteady, the app is extremely simple and intuitive. It's very basic, which means there's not a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo in there, but it has all the settings you need. You can go in and you can control motor speed, all the stuff that you really want to control with your gimbal, but it also has a motion lapse setting. So you can set this up, set your action camera for a time lapse, and it will do the motion lapse where it'll slowly pan or tilt or however you set it. The app works extremely well. Like I said, it's very intuitive, very easy to use, and I have no complaints with it whatsoever. I'm not really a big app person. I just kind of run these gimbals how they come. And like I said, what I can always rely on with the Hohem gimbals are they come back to Horizon every single time. For what you spend on these gimbals, you are getting some great technology. If you happen to decide that you want the iSteady Pro 3, I'm going to put a link in the description below to get you 50% off. That's right, you can get these gimbals through my link for 50% off, compliments of Pergear. Pergear sent me this gimbal to review. I'd happened to buy the iSteady Pro 4 for my Hero 10 because this will not fit the 9 and 10. This is for GoPros 2 all the way up through 8 and your Akasos and your DJI Osmo Actions and your other smaller framed action cameras. But then Pergear sent me this one to review for you guys and to be able to offer you 50% off. I have fallen in love with this thing because I love my Osmo Action as much as I like my GoPro Hero 10, and having the ability to shoot HDR mode stabilized is a game changer for me. I could probably return my GoPro 10 at this point because this little camera rock and rolls. I'm Steve WB, and I'm out.